So many women ask us all the time, how did you lose your weight? Like, how did I lose 20 pounds? And how did Casey lose 85 pounds?
They go, what diet are you on? And we like to say, we fired our diets and then lost the weight. So today we want to share with you the 3 diets that we stopped to lose 20 pounds and 80, actually it's more than 85 now, but I'll explain that coming up. And so make sure that you stick around because it's going to be a good one.
So welcome back to Healthy Christian Living with Ruth and Casey, and we're a mother-daughter team, and we're really glad that you are here to find out what diets we stopped in order to lose the weight, because we did lose the weight.
Yep.
We fired our diets, and we are no more on any of those restrictive fad diets that cause so much grief in our lives.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? We're here to tell you that we were hardcore fad dieters.
Yeah, we
okay?
were.
Like it was an all day, everyday way of life that we were on a diet.
So let's start with diet number 1 that we ditched. We're going to say it's the Atkins diet from way back in the 80s, I think it was, but now it's more the new keto. But this Atkins diet, like, I dreaded starting it. And after I started, by lunchtime, I was like, oh, I don't think I can even do this for one day.
Yeah, but you would.
I did.
And then you would lose the weight, and then you would stop eating like that because you can't live like that forever, right? It just isn't realistic.
And what's more than that, it is very unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Because what do you eat on an Atkins or a keto diet? You overindulge in protein. Now, protein is really good for your body. We need to have protein, but overindulgence in anything is not good.
Mm-mm. And you know, we've often talked before in other videos, you can check them out, about the 3 macro categories from the 7 classes of nutrients. So protein, fat, and carbohydrates are what people refer to now as counting macros. Those are the 3 macro categories. And if you think about almost any fad diet out there, it's either about having too much of one macro category and restricting the others, or the other way around. It's about, you know, it's just all about restricting or amplifying those 3 macro categories. And you know what? God designed our bodies to need all 3 in certain proportions. So when we're saying we're going to have like this much protein when our body was designed for this much, that's no good.
It doesn't work.
That's actually not healthy.
No, you don't feel good.
Yeah.
And what's more, you don't enjoy your life or your lifestyle. And God wants us to enjoy what we're doing. He wants us to enjoy our food. And so, you know, what's really funny is we often talk about when Jesus fed the crowds of people, he gave them all 3. He gave them protein, carbs, and fats with the fish and the manna.
Yeah.
Okay. So our bodies need all 3. So after we ditched these diets, we lost the weight and we are feeling good.
Because the other big thing that we want to talk about here, why it's important and why it worked for us to ditch those diets, is because they play havoc with our minds. When we start telling ourselves that we can never have this again, when everything is restrictive, when everything is about punishing our bodies because we don't like what we see when we look in the mirror, then it's no wonder that we're not getting a positive result.
And what's the first thing that your mind goes to when you can't have something? It goes to exactly what you can't have. So if you say you're never allowed bread again, what do you crave? Bread.
And it's like every meal, all you can think is like, I can't have bread. I can't have bread. I want to eat bread. I want to eat more bread, right? I want the pizza. I want the pizza. And so, you know, the havoc that plays on our mental well-being is huge. Okay. And if you're here watching, I'm sure that you can relate to, you know, just not feeling good about who you are, but also having this feeling of not being worthy unless you're on one of those fad diets, because we live in this super mixed up fad diet culture that tells us that we are worthy when we are on a diet because the only thing that matters about us is our size and our physical appearance. And we're here to tell you that that's not the case, that God created you on purpose with a specific body type and body shape And so we want to do our very best to honor these bodies and take good care of them in a healthy way, not in a way that's about restriction and deprivation and all of the other things that those fad diets promote.
That's right, because they're coming from a negative starting point, and we like to come from a positive starting point. So if you like what you're hearing, we ask that you subscribe to this YouTube channel and maybe, click on the bell notification so you don't miss our upcoming videos. But let's go on to diet number 2 that we ditched, okay? We ditched this diet number 2.
And you've probably heard us talk about it before. The cabbage soup diet, the 7-day cabbage soup diet, where you can lose like 14 pounds in 7 days because all you eat is cabbage soup. Well, you eat a little bit more than that, but.
And you really dread the next bowl of cabbage soup.
Oh yeah. Day 1, you're like, yeah, this tastes okay. I can handle this. By day 2, you're like, by day 3, you're like, I can't do it.
And by day 4, I think day 4 is where you're eating only bananas and milk all day. You're going like, oh, if I have to look at another banana. And, it's just so crazy that we put ourselves through these diets that are so unhealthy. It's going from all or nothing, all or nothing, all or nothing. Now, let's talk about the word diet right now, because we're talking about the diets that we've ditched, but there's a difference between a diet and your diet.
Yeah.
Okay, so a diet is what somebody put together as a plan, and it's something you don't like the Atkins or the cabbage soup or the one we're going to talk about soon, but it's a diet that is a plan put in place for you to lose weight. And usually they are coming from a negative starting point. Usually they are very restrictive, and usually you dread it. But your diet is something totally different.
Yeah. Your diet is really all about the foods that you are choosing to consume as fuel for your body. So we try really hard to use different words when we're talking about your diet or my diet, meaning the foods that I'm choosing to consume, just because it creates a little bit of confusion. We talk about a healthy lifestyle plan rather than our diet. But if you ever hear us say the word diet in regards to like what we are eating, we simply mean the foods that we're choosing to consume. And we really think that it's important when we look at like our diets or your diets, that we look at what the Bible has to say about how we should be fueling our bodies. And the Bible might not talk specifically about this is the diet that you should be on, or this is how you should eat, but the Bible talks an awful lot about things that pertain to our diet or how we choose to eat or our healthy lifestyle plan. And one of the verses that we often talk about is, it says this: do you like honey? If you do, don't eat too much or it will make you sick.
Yeah.
And I love that verse because, it doesn't say don't eat honey. It says don't eat too much. That's about moderation. That's about portion control. That's about being mindful about what you're doing. It's not about restricting. It's about self-control.
And then the Bible tells us that we should enjoy what we're doing and do everything to please God. And that includes our eating.
Yeah.
And so often we forget to invite God to the table. So often we forget to invite God into our weight loss journey. But it's really important that we do, because, if you talk about the fruit of the Spirit, one of them is self-control. And we are called to have self-control, which is all about portion controlling and moderation and being mindful of what we put into this body, which is the temple of the Holy Spirit.
Exactly. So let's go on to the third one. So we've talked about how we quit the Atkins diet, which, maybe you're thinking keto. Then we talked about the cabbage soup diet, which, I'm so glad to say we don't ever have to do that again. And the third one is all about counting, right? Counting points or carbs or, macros or carbs, counting anything. And the one that we hear most women talk about with counting is Weight Watchers. Yeah. And, we want to say Weight Watchers has some really good aspects to it, because I think that their goal is actually to try and teach women moderation. But what we hear often from women is that on Weight Watchers or on counting points or calories, they've never learned what it actually means to eat healthy.
Or they don't know how to treat their body well. Because in, let's say, Weight Watchers, you can eat whatever you want,
Mhm.
regardless of the ingredients in the package.
Mhm.
Now, we talk.
And in any quantity if it fits within your points range.
That's right. And so we talk more about as your diet or your lifestyle should be fueling your body.
Mhm.
Fueling your body means giving your body the energy it needs to carry out the tasks that God has designed or destined you to do.
Mhm.
Now, in order to have the energy, we have to fuel our bodies well. And so when we put the processed junk and crap that has nasty chemicals and preservatives and food colorings and all the things that are harmful to our body, it's not actually fueling our body.
Mhm.
It's actually detrimental.
Mhm.
And there's a big difference between choosing to put good food as fuel in your body versus just counting a calorie or a point in order to have whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. That's well said. So, we often think about counting from that perspective where, like, if you're anything like me, when I used to count calories, I would not eat all day long so that I could have a big, huge honking piece of cake in the evening, right? Well, maybe it wasn't cake for me, it was more chips, but you get the point, right? Where, you're not giving your body anything good all day long, and then you're still within your points range or your calorie range. So you think that you're doing well, but you're actually not helping your body. That's not healthy for your body. And, we're not here to say that you're never going to have the piece of cake or that you're never going to have something that has processed junk or chemicals in it, because the reality of the life that we live is that it's around and you probably will have it again. But we want to start looking at what we're choosing to consume from the perspective of, is this helping my body? Or is this harming my body? Or is it kind of neutral? And so, we want to limit the amount of harmful foods that we are giving our bodies and give our bodies the good stuff that actually fuel our bodies.
That's right. And so if you've never been taught what it means to fuel your body well, today we want to invite you to check out our food plan.
Mhm.
It's a way of life. It's a lifestyle, and it's a healthy lifestyle where we don't eliminate food groups. We have them all, but we choose to eat in moderation.
Mhm.
And we fuel our body with ingredients that we know are beneficial to our body.
Mhm.
So we just want to invite you right now to check out our 10-day WeighDown Plan, where if you decide to dive into this, you're going to get an online course with many instructional videos, because we don't just tell you what to eat. We actually show you and instruct you on how to learn to treat your body like a temple, not a trash can.
Exactly. And so, we often, when women ask us what diets do we do to lose the weight or to maintain our weight, we tell them we live a healthy lifestyle. And here's what that means for us. That means that we eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We have good, healthy foods.
And we have a mid-morning snack and a mid-afternoon snack.
Mm-hmm.
And we enjoy tasty, delicious foods.
Mm-hmm.
We don't just eat rabbit food and birdseed, because that gets pretty boring.
Exactly.
That's like those diets
Mm-hmm.
that are so restrictive and say that you can't have any of your favorite foods. We're here to tell you that you can. And you can lose weight eating delicious, tasty food.
Yes, you definitely can. And it's not about being restrictive. In fact, what we really, really, truly believe is that it's about uncrossing all of those mixed up wires in our brains from fad diet culture,
Right.
so that we can have a healthy relationship with food where we enjoy what we eat and we ditch that guilt and shame that so many of us feel when we eat almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so many women can't even eat a slice of bread or a banana without that feeling of guilt and shame. Like, oh my goodness, I'm not worthy because I just ate bread. Like,
That's
it's
right.
ridiculous. And so it's about all of those things, learning how to live a healthy lifestyle. And so, like Ruth said, we would love to invite you to check out our 10-day WeighDown Plan, because that is what we've used to lose the weight. And I said at the beginning that I would tell you about my 85 pounds. It's actually more like 125 or 130 now, because I lost 85 pounds after my first pregnancy using our 10-day WeighDown Plan. And now after another pregnancy, I had 65 to lose and I've got about 15 left to go. So it's a lot of weight. And I did it all by ditching those diets.
So you don't have to be on those fad diets that are restrictive, punishing your body, and the ones that you dread.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that we didn't mention that is so critical and so different about our plan is it's all about inviting God into the journey.
That is the top priority. So if you've never done that before, because we have so many women
Yeah.
who have said, I never thought about inviting God into my weight loss journey. We're here to tell you, you can't do it without inviting God into your weight loss journey. So click on the link below, check us out, and we really invite you to come and join us.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you for being here watching. Let us know in the comments which diet you've quit that you never want to go back to. And until next time, treat your body like a temple, not a trash can.